Hey everyone, it's Desiree. We are going to make another card today. It's going to be a 5x7 because you know I like me real estate on my cards. And it's going to have splatters, and we're going to do them in two different ways. What I love about the BetterPress plates from Spellbinders are not only can you use them in your BetterPress system, but they are great to foil with. And dare I say that sometimes these plates are even better than the actual glimmer plates. So yeah, I know, but they're awesome. So we are going to be using for the sentiments, real color sentiments. And then I also have some dies that are called torn paper edges. These are awesome. And then the BetterPress plate is Memo Splatter. When I saw this, I immediately saw a rainbow on black. I don't know why, I just did. So I'm going to use the rainbow glimmer foil, and on a piece of black paper, we're going to tape that to the plate. Now I'm choosing to glimmer first, so that, or hot foil, let's call it hot foiling. Glimmer, well, let's glimmer, yay! So that when I go to the BetterPress, I won't have ink and all of that. After I heat that, let the button bounce and light up for me, I run it through my die cutting machine, and pulling off this piece of foil is just, it's right up there with embossing powders, when you're heat setting them. Absolutely love that. Now, what's great is when you look at that plate or that piece of black paper, that you see these lines. But we're going to create now a splatter using just ink and put that on top of it. So that's going to kind of take away the line look. I'm using a piece of aqua cardstock, and I'm using the Bark BetterPress ink, and I'm covering the entire plate because I'm not quite sure where I'm going to cut this. Now, this is just regular cardstock, so we're not going to get too much of an indentation, but we do get some because the cardstock is like 110 pounds. So she's pretty thick. The moment that I'm done using my BetterPress plate, I clean them, and I use the archival ink cleaner as recommended, and I use a microfiber cloth that specifically is used for this, because then this ink doesn't cross into another towel that I may have or anything like that. So I don't want to get that anywhere. So I keep it with that cleaner. And now we have our panel. So we've got great texture going on there. Yes, these are the same size. We are going to cut this down. And I do keep changing my mind when I cut this down. Like I said before, we are making a 5x7 panel. So I just wanted this piece of paper to sit in this panel, and I'm just going to trim it down just a smidge. I took off like just less than 1/4 of an inch, and I'm doing that on both sides so that it's even, because I don't want to lose all the colors. I really want to try to keep all the colors on this. Now, at first I was going to keep that large stripe, and I like that. That's one way that you can go with the card, is to just create these blocks. Use your black cardstock as like a mat, but I was losing way too much of the foil, and that was not making me happy. I needed to see more of the foil because for some reason, I just fell in love with it. I thought it was awesome. I am going to mat the aqua piece that we pressed onto black cardstock. I want to get it separated from that. Now, we're still working with a large piece, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this is the way that I'm going to go. I want to go with my original thought, and then at the last minute, I place the piece down in the bottom corner, and I'm really going to give that a very thin black matte border, because now I'm seeing more of that foil. I'm going to pull in some of these dies. So we are going to use the one that looks like notebook paper edge, and these die cut beautifully and give a great effect off to the side. And if you don't glue down those little pieces, you can sit there and just bend them up to make it look like you actually tore it out of a notebook, which is cool. Still looking at that, I'm like, nope, I'm covering up too much of this piece. I want to be able to see more of the foil. Now, what's great is since we're working on a 5x7 card base, we can move that black cardstock panel up so that we will see more of that. In the torn paper edges, not only do you have the piece that makes it look like it's torn from a notebook, but you also do get two decal-edged dies, which is great. So I'm using both of them on the top of the panel and on the bottom. That panel is now very thick. You won't see the black cardstock anymore. So I just kept on cutting it to make it a little bit thinner. And I'm making sure the splatters are in different areas. And that's simply by flipping that aqua piece. Very simple. I'm going to add a little bit of vintage photo around this piece. I thought that framed it up nicely. Now, a lot of people don't think that the vintage photo goes with the pinks and the aquas. I think it is absolutely gorgeous when it is with those. I'm taking one of the sentiments from Real Color Sentiments that says imagination starts here. I had ran those through my BetterPress prior, and now I've got all of these wonderful sentiments about creativity and art, and I think that is just great. And they have them for all occasions. There's a birthday one that says, "Happy birthday, let's capture the joy." So I think it's just perfect when it comes to these items, and I immediately fell in love with them. So everything's on an angle, but I think it creates a great, bright card that is encouraging. As always, I hope you enjoyed today's project, and I hope I showed you the two different ways and gave you some tips and tricks along the way on using your BetterPress plates if you should have those in your stash. The product that I used will be listed down below, a link to that if you wanted to check that out. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below as well, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and make sure you ring the bell so that you're notified when the next video is ready for you to watch. Until then, enjoy the art that you create. Know it's art, because it is, but just enjoy the process. That's what makes crafting fun. And paper is one of the best mediums to work with. We can do so much with it. But always remember what's most important. Always be creative in everything you do every day. Continue to stay safe and healthy. And I'll talk to you in the next one. And until then, guys, take care.